This is a Transportation TV News update. I'm Tony Dorsey reporting. As the Senate continued to work toward agreement on a jobs bill, lawmakers and transportation leaders held a tele-news conference to explain why its passage is critical. California Democrat Barbara Boxer, chair of the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee, was joined by AASHTO Executive Director John Horsley and others to discuss the Senate's version of a jobs bill called HIRE, for the Hiring Incentives to Restore Employment Act. The measure would extend funding for existing highway and transit programs through December 31, 2010, transfer approximately $20 billion from the general fund to keep the Highway Trust Fund solvent, and it would expand the Build America Bonds program, allowing states and local governments to borrow at lower cost to finance more infrastructure projects in order to put additional people to work. Senator Boxer told reporters it's clear that investments in infrastructure are a crucial component of job creation, and ensuring that these are included in the Senate's first jobs package is essential. After taking reporter questions, Mr. Horsley issued this video statement.
Senator Boxer and Senator Reid have made sure that this HIRE bill, this latest Senate jobs bill, contains three crucial components for transportation. Number one, the extension of the highway and transit programs that restores $12 billion to the highway program that otherwise would be lost. Extension of the highway and transit program must pass by February 28th, or we lose $12 billion.
See Mr. Horsley's entire video at www.transportation.org. In other news, it was an extremely busy Recovery Act anniversary for the Obama administration Wednesday, February 17th. The president led his team's full-court press, challenging critics and working hard to convince the American public that the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act was delivering on its promise to create jobs and stimulate the economy.
This morning we learned that manufacturing production posted a strong gain. So far, the Recovery Act is responsible for the jobs of about 2 million Americans who would otherwise be unemployed.
During his White House speech, Obama conceded that the Recovery Act is controversial, but the president said the stimulus plan rescued the U.S. economy from falling into a second depression, and that more jobs will be created as additional revenues from the act are pumped into the economy. U.S. DOT Secretary Ray LaHood spent the Recovery Act anniversary in Kansas City, Missouri, awarding $1.5 billion in competitive Tiger grants. 52% of those recovery funds, or $777 million, was awarded to 22 state-sponsored projects, including several that will improve freight connections. Several states held Recovery Act anniversary events to tout the benefits of stimulus spending. Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell spoke at a news conference at the Route 34 bridge near Carlisle, Pennsylvania, one of the state's 326 recovery highway and bridge projects. Rendell said the stimulus bill included a critical infusion of federal funds that helped nearly every state avoid massive layoffs. If we didn't have the $2 billion state fiscal relief that stimulus provided, we would have had to lay off 37,000 state employees, half our workforce, to balance the budget.
Stimulus has worked. It has worked. It could have done better if we had had more money for infrastructure, because infrastructure, like this bridge, is the #1 driver of jobs.
In Rhode Island, State Department of Transportation officials released a comprehensive report called Putting People to Work to coincide with the one-year anniversary. According to the report, as of February 16, 2010, 58 RIDOT projects had been approved for funding and 44 were under construction. 81% of the contracts were awarded to Rhode Island companies. In a statement, RIDOT Director Michael P. Lewis said that by the end of 2009, $9.4 million in wages had been earned by 1,929 workers on recovery projects in that state. See RIDOT's report at this website. AASHTO President and Mississippi Department of Transportation Executive Director Larry L. Butch Brown held a news conference to mark the Recovery Act anniversary. Brown said, "Our projects were slowing down, our funding was eroding, and the stimulus package came along at a really good time." MDOT received $355 million in federal recovery funding. The Kansas State Department of Transportation issued a press release listing its recovery successes. All of the state's $378 million in recovery funds have been approved for 150 transportation projects across the state. Kansas Transportation Secretary Deb Miller said the Recovery Act did exactly what it was supposed to do: put people to work and improve the state's transportation infrastructure. Our state projects are truly game changers that could not have been built in the foreseeable future without this one-time funding. To see a complete list of all Kansas recovery projects, go to this website. AASHTO's Projects and Paychecks, a one-year report on state transportation successes under the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, was the main topic of C-SPAN's live interview show, The Washington Journal, Tuesday, February 16th. AASHTO Executive Director John Horsley said the report found that highway and transit construction projects alone created or saved approximately 280,000 on-project jobs.
Across the country, thousands and thousands of people have been either put to work or were able to keep their jobs as a result of the stimulus funding.
See the complete report at recovery.transportation.org. That's the Transportation News Update. I'm Tony Dorsey reporting.